For those of you who know the gallery, you know that we usually do one-person shows. This is a two-person show. It wasn't my idea, it was Max's idea. He said, I'll consider having a show with your maybe reputable gallery if you include my good friend Steve Klein. And we said, Steve's a great friend of the gallery, no issue at all, and we got to work. And so I started having to think about these two artists and the overlap of their work, what they had in common, why it would make sense to pair them. And you can look around and see formal relationships between their work. And I thought, that's not really what it is for me, personally. And so I spent some time thinking about it. And I realized that how I felt about this show was that these two gentlemen represent the heroicism of 20th century modernism. And so to get us in the mood for kind of going back to those times and kind of see how art was being spoken about then, I've pulled together a couple of famous quotes, favorite quotes, that I'm just going to share, and hopefully this can consistent mood. As you probably know, there's quite a legacy of philosophers talking about art and setting a pretty high expectation. Schopenhauer basically said, life is fucked, and the best we can do is take solace in the fine arts. Nietzsche, he said, the artist must learn to vacate the everyday world and reach the myth and the eternal. Jean-Paul Sartre said, paintings don't mean anything, but they have meaning. In other words, don't look at a painting and interrogate it for what it's saying. Understand that you're stepping into a world here that speaks its own language. The Russian monastic spoke of trying to reach the desert of pure feeling. That's a quote, the desert of pure feeling. And in 1919 said to his audience, swim. The white, free abyss of infinity is before you. To me, the zenith is the 20th century modernism, which is the New York School of Abstract Expressionists. Perhaps the most kind of scholarly and intellectual of them was Al Reinhardt, who was famous for talking about art as art. So I'm going to quote you a paragraph from Al Reinhardt. The one thing to say about art is that it was one faith. Art is art as art, and everything else is everything else. Art as art is nothing but art. Art is not what it is not. Art is not what is not art. The one object of 50 years of abstract art is to present art as art and as nothing else. To make it into one thing, it is only separating and defining it more and more, making it purer and emptier, more absolute, more exclusive, non-objective, non-representational, non-figurative, non-imagist, non-expressionist, non-subjective. The only and one way to say what abstract art is art as art. So in that context, masters of modern art can stand before us and they've been practicing for a very long time with a tremendous amount of consistency, and I think we're honored to have one.
My early influence has been painters. Growing up in our home, we always had books, painters, and so I looked at them. I'm particularly drawn to the abstract expressionists and to the Russian constructivists. Malevich, one incredible. He said that talking about his white on white. That's a different piece, yes. But so Malevich, Demoncourt, Mondrian, that genre of art has been my influence.
Putting together any kind of visual structures and not being at all representative, making pieces that are representative of anything. I feel that the pieces have to stand on their own. Yeah. I don't.
Steve, how do you know when a piece is complete?
I don't either. When it's packed and was out the door.
I want you damn concern me.
I hope that whatever work continues to exist brings some beauty and joy to somebody. Yeah.
I get the same sensation when I see an even corn. I walk around the corner and I get goosebumps, yeah. The aliveness of these canvases. How long did this take to have that happen? You know, because I think that, but was it always there? Or did it develop through time?
It's continuing action, reaction, acceptance, and something else like burnout. It's important to need to have the things stand on their own and let them be interactive or other people be interactive to them. Is building spatial, self-defining images, and then he's trying to work for it. Before I came to the island, I was working as an illustrator. 1 year working as an illustrator for engineer type people. I just had to get away from it, and I wanted to paint. My work has evolved from that history to what it is today. I live and work independently, except for this guy. And he's taught me a great deal. I have been working for a long time of making mistakes and painting them over. And after talking and playing and working with him, I found that if you're doing something in glass, you have one shot, period. My family and I rode to Weymouth on the 1st of July, 1959. And I have worked independently until he and I started in the matter of plugging along and trying to teach myself how to paint and what a painting is. Absolutely. And so there are pieces in here that I've had in storage for quite a while. And there are some recent pieces that were just finished, or almost finished. To answer that question, I would say I don't know any other artists. I know painters, I know some glass people, I have known a couple sculptors, but my work has been independent. I feel very strongly that the word artist has been inflated and been misused and abused for a long, long time. And I think it should be used with respect, and it should be used as an honorific title, not a working individuals. When you get to be my age, you have accumulated a lot of stretches that are a lot of work and expensive and very time consuming. And so I paid over old stretches. I will sand them down. I'll give them a little wipe off to clean them. Then put a coat of varnish over them, and then start to repaint I'll start new paintings over the old paintings and use the varnish as a divider, and keeps the two painting apart. And I want to be the person to choose the paintings that will go on beyond me, not somebody else. And so it's a matter of convenience, cost, time, and then I just work over old stretcher bars and say,
My work is a constant conversation between myself, between the material, between the process, and between what I think I want to say with it. It's also very personal in that what I want to say is between me and the piece. There are times when I'm going to specifically say, I'm making a piece, it's about the environment, it's about global warming, and this is the glacier. But for most of the work, it's a personal conversation between the idea that I've had, between whatever's inspired or influenced it, between the material, between the process. It's just an ongoing process. And in that process, there are certain moments. And those are really nice to have 2 or 3 of those moments in the process. Either you have to wait till it's finished or at certain stages. And that's kind of the drug or the addition, just looking for those moments.
I like to work serially. I'll have a series of shapes that interest me, or a structure that is interesting to me at a time. There's a couple, 3 pieces in here that have been finished in a series of 8 paintings, plus at the end of the series, I tried to do a summation painting of what I have accomplished or what I've learned, and then go on from there. I have never signed a painting on the front. I figure that with the time, the months that some of them take, I'm not going to screw it up by scrawling my name on for the damn painting. And that's not the important thing. It's the painting, not my name on it. I have worked independently in a direction away from illustrative things. I feel that if one wishes to illustrate something, a landscape or flowers, whatever, you can do it a hell lot better, a lot more accurately, much more quickly, with a good, clean photograph. and which has certainly evolved faster than away from painting. Painting is glass, except that I'm putting the colors on. I'm not using the colors to build the image and the texture.
Yeah. I'd like to actually respond to what you said there about doing something narrative or it's a hell of a lot harder, and this is, I think, what I've learned from Max more than anything else, to do something non-representational and to keep it non-representational so that once a piece is finished, nobody looks at it and says, oh, that reminds me of this, that reminds me of that. But to keep something non-representational. It's very difficult. What I've learned from Max is the importance of looking at the whole piece, looking at sections, putting it the right line, the right color, the right size, the right time. And I mean, it's costing me a lot of time and money because I look at a piece and I say, oh, Max would have put this little orange line there. Now I've got to redo the whole damn thing. Because that's what's going to make it right. And, you know, I learned that. And so, you know, it would be a lot easier to do something representational or narrative than to try to present something like this.
Steve, is there anything yet to do that you haven't done?
There's way more to do than I have time to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess that's a simple answer. I don't do this because I do it because I have to do it and I want to do it, and it's an obsession to get into the studio every day and to work. I mean, say it's fun, it's pleasurable, it's everything. It's my world. That's it. Yeah.
Max, you've been painting a very long time. Is there something that you wished to be able to do that you feel like you haven't done yet?
Hell yes. As I've said earlier, I have gone from working as an illustrator to a painter. And as such, I feel that it's important to use the media that I'm working with so that it is an independent being or structure, and let it stand on its own, or let the people that are viewing it reject it or accept it on their personal terms.